Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Cut Line, presented by the Hoosier Network. I'm Graham Nash, alongside, of course, Andrew Hillsman. And Andrew, we have got a very hot start. Scottie Scheffler is back in the win column. Wins for the first time in 2025, and for the 14th time in his career, and it was wire to wire.
Yeah, that was the most dominant Scottie performance we may have ever seen. Shot minus 31, which is tied for the lowest 72-hole score in PGA Tour history. Didn't he topped out at, 32 under, I think was his?
31.
31? Okay,
31.
so that's as low as he got. There was a chance, there were chance after chance that we thought, okay, how low is he going to go?
Yeah, dude, I thought he
was just going to keep on going.
I did as well. He went 61 on Thursday, 63 on Friday, 66 on Saturday, and finished with a 63 on Sunday. Imagine your worst round in a golf tournament being a 66.
Yeah, I'd take that any day of the week.
That is unbelievable. He won by 8 over Eric Van Rooyen, who came in second, the largest margin of victory in CJ Cup Byron Nelson's 80-year history. Also, he set the 36-hole course record at the tournament. He was 18 under. He was minus 550 with 39 holes remaining.
That'll play.
That's the most dominant performance I think we've seen all season.
Yeah, for sure. I was about to say, I don't think we've seen a victory margin more than 4, I want to say, this year, more than 5.
Yeah, it's been something around that. It's been
pretty
close.
We haven't seen one of those massive blowouts from anybody, not just Scottie. It's been anybody this year. And, Scottie finally back in the winner's column. It feels like everybody who we want to heat up right before the PGA Championship is starting to heat up.
Oh, my gosh. We've got
We're
stuff
gonna get
on
to that
in just a moment.
It just feels like everything is building up. Rory's already hot. It just feels like we're heading towards a championship season that is just going to be cinematic.
I think you're right. This is going to be a phenomenal tournament, which is fun because I feel like the PGA Championship is always the major that's left out.
I agree.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So for it to have such fun headlines, it's going to make it really fun.
It feels like, I think, in the eyes of the golf world, that a lot of times it's, one that just doesn't have a defining characteristic to it, right? The Masters, it's at Augusta. No more needs to be said. The British Open, you're playing links golf on some of the most iconic, oldest courses in the world. And then the U.S. Open, punishing rough.
Yeah.
You can't make mistakes. You have to be accurate all week to have a chance at winning. And the PGA just, it doesn't have that defining characteristic. It jumps around a lot more than these other ones do. But I think it's still a great tournament.
I saw something cool one time. It was just an idea for the PGA Championship. And it said that the PGA should make its niche, its thing, like these other majors, playing every year at a public golf course, which I thought was a really interesting and good idea.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that there's enough good public golf courses, across the country. You look at golf top 100 public courses, and you go down this list. Obviously, Pebble Beach is number 1.
Of course.
Public is a stretch there because good luck getting on that course.
Right.
Pebble Beach, Pacific Dunes in Oregon, any of the Bandon Dunes courses. Kiowa is there, the Ocean Course, Whistling Straits. And, these are, courses that have hosted majors before. Pinehurst is there. But a lot of these are, the U.S. Open plays a lot of public courses.
Yeah. Right, they do. And I think that's why they haven't done it, I think, is because the PGA does. But for a couple years there, they were pretty much only playing the PGA at public courses.
Yeah.
They went to Bethpage Black in 2019, TPC Harding Park
there you go.
in 2020, a course that I actually played.
Oh, yeah?
Very, very fun course up in San Francisco. And then is Kiowa a public course?
Yeah,
they played at Kiowa. That was when Phil won. So they've done it playing, but they haven't committed to it. I would love it if they committed to it. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah. I would like to see a major come back to Erin Hills. They played the U.S. Open there in 2017.
Yeah.
I would love to see another major get played there.
Yeah, that's a good course. I also Whistling Straits.
Yes,
I would love to see one at Whistling Straits again. That was phenomenal. Well, back on the topic of Scottie before we move on to more PGA talk, because we do have a little bit. This won't be our official preview.
Nope.
Because that will come next week.
Yep.
But there's a little bit more on it. Scottie was very emotional after he won this tournament because it's where he made his professional debut over a decade ago.
Wow.
It was a very, very cool post-round interview. He was holding his son, his firstborn, and he was getting very emotional. And
Yeah.
we've got the clip. Let's take a listen to Scottie Scheffler on 18 after after Sunday.
This tournament means a lot to me. It's my first start as a pro 11 years ago. I had my sister caddying for me. She's back there too. So, it's it feels like a lifetime of hard work and sacrifice for little moments like these, and they're pretty special.
I like that he mentioned
it.
his sister was
That's pretty
caddying
sweet,
for him.
yeah.
That's pretty special. And then also, just seeing, I feel like I haven't seen Scottie that emotional after a win. It's his first win as a dad.
Yep.
So I think.
That's
Actually, maybe not.
It might not be. I think he won because what was it, after the Masters last year?
Yeah, that's right. I think it's the first one that he's had with his son there.
Probably.
With his kid there, because it was in Dallas.
Yep,
It was
yep.
in his home state.
Yep.
But also, we haven't seen Scottie struggle to win like this in a while. Since he's won, he hasn't struggled like this to win.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of emotion of like...
Now he's finally got the monkey off his back.
Exactly.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
And definitely got rid of it. He banished that thing.
Yeah.
Just destroyed everybody. We were kind of talking about it last week. We're like, okay, the field is Scottie Scheffler and a lot of who's who. And I was saying that, there's a chance Scottie doesn't find a way to win this. No, it was a matter of time. It had to happen at some point. This was a perfect week to do it. And so I'm glad he won. I picked him to win, so we'll get into that a little bit later. I had a good week in our favorite segment, so we'll talk about that in a little bit.
And despite all this talk that we've had about how Scottie Scheffler has been playing well, he hasn't been winning, he has finished in the top 10 5 out of his first 8 starts. 5 times out of his first 8 starts. This win was his 9th start. His worst finish, I think, was tied for 25th.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And that's why he's still on top of the world golf rankings.
Yeah.
We'll see if anything else changed.
I don't think
week.
anything
We
else
were talking
has.
about last week how Rory's kind of creeping up, but this week helped.
Right.
Let's see, current world ranking. Yeah, this week helped tremendously because last week, what was it? A 40, 50 point gap?
I think 50.
Now it's up to close to 70.
Yeah.
So, almost, yeah.
Rory didn't play.
He
so.
didn't play, right. It was
Interesting.
a really close gap last week. Now with Scottie's win, that helps him a lot.
Yeah. Well, we'll finish off with some notables about this tournament, the CJ Cup Byron Nelson, before moving on to our preview of the Truist, which is coming up this weekend. Jordan Spieth caught fire on Sunday, shot a 9-under 62 to propel himself into 4th. It's his second top 5 of the year. His first was a tied for 4th at the WM. It's his lowest score since 2021. And remember, he needs just the PGA Championship to complete the career Grand Slam in 2 weeks.
This feels like the year. You can't say anything yet because we still have a couple weeks away, but he's stringing together good results.
Yep.
But it's Jordan Spieth. We have seen these things happen before. And I'm not saying I'm not wishing I want him to get it. 2 Grand Slams in 1 year, 2 career Grand Slams.
That'd be insane.
Never happened before. Probably wouldn't ever happen again.
Yeah.
But, it's I would feel heading into the PGA, I would feel less confident about Spieth winning that than Rory winning the Masters.
Less confident?
Yeah.
I agree because Jordan hasn't won since 22,
Yep.
which is a long time.
It is a long time.
So-
But hey, remember, Justin Thomas hadn't won for a while, and he just won his first event in a while as
He
well.
did.
So there's room.
It's
possible.
Right.
For sure.
I agree. Well, before we get to the PGA, which is in 2 weeks, we've got the Truist Championship, signature event number 6 of 8. We only got 2 more.
Yep.
And feels like we're just about at halfway point of the season. It's crazy that they've stacked them this much towards the top of the season. I don't know why.
It doesn't surprise me because this is now, remember, the majors are more often now. So you have the PGA, and then the U.S. Open is at mid-June.
Yeah. And then the Open
dates.
is
Open
July.
No, I don't want the tennis one. There we go. Yeah, June 12th to June 15th.
Okay.
Is the
a
US
major
Open.
a month.
Yeah, right. And then the Open Championship this year is third week of July. So,
yeah. It's a good stretch.
One a month, and that's kind of the end of, and then you have the Tour Championship, but that's kind of the end of the golf season.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's very front loaded.
Yeah, it is.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's just kind of the way it goes.
Right.
You have a couple of, let me look at signature events, PGA Tour, see which ones are left. Because Now those give extra FedEx Cup points as well.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
700 points to the winner, which is pretty
Sizable.
serious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Truist, you have the Memorial Tournament,
Yep.
which is Memorial Day after Memorial Day weekend,
Right.
May 26th to June 1st. And then the last one is the Travelers in the third week of June.
I love
the
that
Travelers.
tournament.
It's so fun.
It is.
It feels like a major atmosphere.
Yeah.
I love
They
it.
get rowdy.
They do.
They do get
It's
rowdy.
fun.
Well, at the Truist, Rory McIlroy is the defending champion. He won the tournament for a record-setting 4th time last year. Good mojo.
Very.
Before the PGA Tour.
Just add it to the
Tournament.
reasons. Add it to the reasons why Rory is still very well in contention for every tournament this year.
Exactly. There are 9 of the top 10 players in the world competing at this tournament. Scottie Scheffler is the only one not competing, which, I mean, he just won, so that
Right,
makes sense.
yeah.
But he probably scheduled this for himself before he won.
Right.
So it's been his plan to give him the week to prepare for the
and
PGA.
the other thing is, I don't think he was ever going to take off this past week in his home state where his family can watch him come play.
Right.
To play a signature event like the Truist. It's just, he wasn't going to do that.
Right.
So it makes sense that he had it scheduled. Either win is, honestly, this past win is probably more valuable to him just personally than if he were to win this upcoming weekend.
That's true. Yeah, getting to again have his kid there
Yeah.
and have his family.
Yeah.
Well, there's 6 other past champions competing in this tournament, including Wyndham Clark, Max Homa, who has not been in great form
No,
recently,
he's been bad.
Jason Day, Brian Harmon, Ricky Fowler, and Lucas Glover in 2011. Shout out Josh Post.
Yes.
Lucas Glover,
Lucas
2011.
Glover enjoyer.
And then sponsor exemptions for the tournament include Ricky Fowler, Keith Mitchell, Jordan Spieth,
Spieth is a sponsor
and
exemption.
Gary
That's
Woodland.
insane.
Dude, he has been for pretty much all of these signature events.
Yeah,
It's kind of been crazy.
it is.
You got something about the location.
Yes. So the location we are heading to, well, we are not actually heading. I wish we were, but we're not. Philadelphia Cricket Club in Flourtown, Pennsylvania. It is the only golf club in the United States that has a different course. It has 3 courses. Each of them were constructed in each of the last 3 centuries, respectively. So
Really?
1800s, 1900s, and 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I believe they're playing at the course that is from the 1900s, I think.
Okay.
I want to say.
That would make sense.
Let me see. I think
I'd
that's right.
appreciate that. As a viewer and as a golfer.
Let's see.
Yes.
Yeah. This one was open for play in 1922.
Wow.
So yeah, there's 3 courses, I guess, on the property.
Very cool.
The first one was built in 1895.
Dang.
So a long
Oh
time
my
ago.
gosh. When was the most recent one, does it say?
Yeah. 2002.
2002.
Mhm.
How about it?
Yeah.
Well, May 8th through May 11th.
That's right. I
The
also have
Truist.
some more facts.
Oh, we've got more.
If any listeners are heading to the Philadelphia Cricket Club, I found online the visitor welcome letter from last year. And this is straight from the club. It lists the attire requirements for such a club.
Oh
And,
my
well,
gosh.
They are what you may think. And I quote, members and guests of the Philadelphia Cricket Club demonstrate their respect for the institution and one another by always dressing in proper golf attire. Men are to wear collared shirts, which must always be tucked in. Always. No untucked shirts.
Okay.
That's pretty common for country clubs.
It is. It is.
Men's hats must be worn with the bills facing forward. And this is my favorite sentence. Must be removed when dining or drinking under cover. Not inside. but
Undercover?
undercover.
What, dude?
So if you're under an umbrella, take your darn hat off.
Take that hat off.
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious.
Women may wear collared shirts, sleeveless collared shirts, or collarless blouses with sleeves. Shorts must be Bermuda style. No 5-inch inseams here. No. In length for men and appropriately tasteful for women. Examples of inappropriate attire include cargo shorts, cargo pants, denim, warm-up suits, t-shirts, mock turtlenecks, flip-flops, Crocs.
Crocs get a shout out?
Yep. And any non-golf athletic attire. And, of course, visitors who need to change their shoes or attire in preparation for a round of golf or after one should do so in the locker room and not elsewhere. No changing your shoes in the parking lot.
That's a big one. That's
It
a big
is.
one at
Yeah.
Country Club.
Yeah.
I love the Croc shout out. Dude.
I know.
That's hilarious.
Because, they have to put it in there because somebody's worn Crocs in there before.
Oh, yeah. Someone wore Crocs with a backwards hat.
Yeah.
And
5-inch inseam.
untucked
gym
shirt.
shorts. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's get this guy out of here.
That's hilarious. I love it. Good
yeah.
find, dude.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Also, no carts. Got to have a caddy.
Oh yeah, that plays. That makes sense. That plays.
So if you're ever heading to the Philadelphia Cricket Club, I'm sure the list of
Prepare yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
Hilarious. Well,
Also, no
that'll
phones.
be a fun tournament.
No phones.
Yeah, they're going Augusta on them.
Yeah,
No
well,
phones.
on the members. So.
Right. I know that LA Country Club does the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that's common with like the old.
Oh no,
America.
no loud stuff. So just turn your ringer off and be respectful.
Be respectful. Exactly.
This is a golfing environment. Well, if you're ever heading to the Philadelphia Cricket Club, now you know what.
Now
not
you
to do.
know.
No Crocs.
No Crocs. Never Crocs. I love it. Even if they're in sport mode, dude.
Nope,
Come on.
Maybe you get a pass once or twice for that.
Okay. Fair. Well, we mentioned that there's some crazy headlines going into the PGA. I just want to touch on these because we'll talk about them more next week. You got Scottie Scheffler hitting his stride. He's finally back in the win column.
Yep.
JT coming off a win, going to a course or a tournament where he's won many times before.
Yep.
Rory at a course that he owns, now freed up by his Masters win. Jordan Spieth chasing the career Grand Slam, coming off a 62 on Sunday. And then Bryson DeChambeau in amazing form. Well, what is that form exactly?
Great segue. Well
Great
done, Graham.
segue.
There we
Thank
go.
you so much.
Let's talk about LIV.
Bryson DeChambeau won for a third time on the LIV Golf Tour last weekend. LIV
I didn't
Golf
watch
Korea.
because I'm not staying up to watch a round that starts at 11 p.m. No, thank you.
Yeah, we went against that.
However, Bryson DeChambeau won for the first time this year. That's a good sign for him.
He did. Shot 19 under, beating his Crushers GC teammate, Charles Howell III, by second. It was actually a very entertaining final round. The teammates went back and forth, and Bryson spoke to the media about the interesting dynamic of competing against a teammate in the professional setting. Let's take a listen.
It's a weird dynamic, but it's much like Formula One. You're rooting for them as much as you can. When they make birdie, you're like, great birdie, like that's awesome. I knew we were close to the lead for the team standing, so I was proud every time he made a birdie. I was happy for him, and then the competitor inside me said, "All right, I got to match it," you know. So there were times where it was tough to feel like I was up there with him. He just kept going, and it was a good battle. I don't know, man. It was fun. Charles, tough competitor, and we had a good time.
I like the Formula One
It's interesting,
reference because we've talked about that before. That LIV Golf. Oh, look at that.
Not planned.
Right on cue.
Not planned. Yep.
But I also think it's interesting that he compared it more to Formula One than he did to college golf.
Yeah.
Because all these guys played on a
yeah.
college team and know what it's like
Right.
to compete against your teammate.
I didn't even
and
think about that.
still, he compared it to Formula One.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just a different animal.
Yeah.
Competitive professional golf compared to college golf.
Yeah. I guess from your perspective, you know, I'm sure it might be a little bit different at high level D1.
Right.
And in this situation, in college golf, I assume it's more focused on the team, right? Like, obviously, you want to do well individually, but I feel like a bigger accomplishment is for team wins.
Definitely at D3.
Right.
Like you said, I can't talk to D1. At D3, absolutely.
Mhm.
I've got a great example of this. Last weekend, I was at my former school,
Shout
former
out.
team, Kenyon
You guys,
College.
the Owls?
The Owls.
It's
We
pretty
were
sweet
the
logo.
Lords and Ladies before, and it was a crest. It was
Okay,
electric.
that's actually pretty.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty sweet.
But I was at this tournament. It was our conference tournament. Kenyon was predicted to win by a million,
Sure.
and they lost to our rival school, Wittenberg.
Ah.
And coming off the green, the last group, one of my buddies, Jaden Kunar, love him to death. He came off the green and he was very emotional, very upset because we lost. We came in second.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes into scoring, and there is a scorecard error for someone that he was playing with who was one ahead of him in the individual rankings.
Oh.
They said he made a par when he made a bogey,
Wow.
which they didn't sign for it, so the kid wasn't DQ'd.
Okay.
But now all of a sudden, we were in a tie for first. Jaden and this other guy.
Yeah.
And Jaden had to focus up and play in a playoff
Wow.
to win the individual championship. Much to his credit, he did.
Wow.
He went out and made par on a 460-yard par 4 and won the individual tournament. But as he was walking to the tee box, he looked at us. We were all walking with him, and he was like, dude, like, I don't even care. Like, I just want to get off the golf course. And because he was so distraught about losing the team event. And I think that's a perfect example of how at the D3 level, the team level
still
matters
lost
more.
by 1.
The team lost by 4.
Okay.
But he won the individual
Yeah.
tournament championship.
But he didn't, he wanted to have the team success more.
Right. He
Wow.
wanted the team success more.
Huh.
Now, after he had his tee shot, he got to his second shot and he was like, okay, now I'm feeling the nerves. Because he locked back in and he's like, okay, now I really want to win this for myself.
Right.
But it took a while for him to get there because he was so upset about the team losing. More than he was about himself losing.
Interesting.
And I think that's a perfect example of the D3 level. I think at the D1 and professional level,
A little different.
it's
for
much
professional,
more
sure.
personal.
I mean, that's your career.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's an interesting. I didn't even think about the college golf aspect. That's good to think about. I did like the teammate, but competitor thing that Bryson talked about. That was interesting.
Right. And full shout out to my guy Jaden Kuhner.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations on winning, my brother.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was phenomenal. In a playoff, it was electric. We were
Where
shouting.
was that?
It was in Columbus, Indiana, at
Oh,
Otter
not too
Creek
far away
Golf
from here.
Course. Very nice golf course.
Not too far.
Yeah.
Was that 30, 35 minutes?
No, it was like an hour. It was an
Okay,
hour.
Okay.
But still very fun.
Not bad.
Back to LIV.
Yep.
The Crushers, which is Bryson's team, won for the first time this season at 35 under, beating Smash GC by 9. The Crushers only had one top 3. Up to this point in the season, they got second at LIV Golf Miami, so that's big for their team status. Some shout-outs and some notables from the tournament. Matt Wolff came in 6th place at 9 under, his best finish of the season and first finish inside the top 10 this season. Cam Smith and John Rahm tied for 7th. Joaquin Niemann had a tough weekend, tied for 20th. And Phil Mickelson came in 50th, which also, speaking of Phil Mickelson, had a very interesting take
Yes, he did.
about Scottie Scheffler. Did I put this in gimmies?
I think so.
I did.
But let's talk about it now.
Let's talk about it now. So, Phil Mickelson on March 16th made a bold prediction on Twitter saying that Scottie would not win in 2025 before the Ryder Cup. Right after Scottie won on Sunday, he replied to his own tweet saying, so I might have been off on that one, with a couple laughing emojis and said, congrats to Scottie on a great performance. Ice cold take, Andrew.
Horrible take. You can think that, but just you don't need to put it out there.
Exactly, dude. It's Scottie Scheffler.
But it's also Phil. He's gonna do that. So,
exactly.
it is what it is.
Right.
Phil's Phil.
Phil is gonna be Phil.
Yeah.
Phil's gonna Phil.
Look at the standings for the season as LIV is through. I don't know however many events they're through. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. They're through 7 events. It looks like.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. I don't know. This website's terrible. Anyway,
Their website's awful.
they're through 7 events.
Nice.
The top 3 in the Players Championship right now, because they have the players and the teams.
Right.
Joaquin Niemann has a 20-point lead.
Makes sense.
Yep. Because he's won 3 times.
Yep.
Bryson DeChambeau jumped himself up into 2nd place because he was tied for 2nd in Mexico, and then he won this week.
Yep.
And then 3rd is John Rahm. John Rahm and Bryson DeChambeau are separated by less than a point.
Wow. That's a close race. I mean,
and then it
that
drops
makes so
off
much sense.
Garcia because DeChambeau and Rahm are both at 105 points. Neiman's at 125.
Wow.
So he's got a 20-point lead.
Yeah, that's good.
So DeChambeau Rahm at 105. In 4th is Sergio Garcia. He's at 78.
Ooh.
So it might be a little bit of a
Interesting.
3-horse race. We'll see. About halfway through the LIV season. On the team side, we have a look. Legion's 8. Thank you. I always get it wrong. They're in the lead. They have a 21-point lead over the Fireballs GC, who actually won 3 events in a row from weeks 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, yeah.
And then Crushers are in 3rd.
That was a big win then for the Crushers.
Dead last is
interesting.
the Iron Heads with 1 point.
1 point. Ooh, that's tough. That is very brutal.
We might see why when we look at their team.
Oh gosh.
So
Let's
Iron Heads.
Let's not. That's just gonna be brutal.
Yeah, your captain's Kevin Na. So
I love Kevin
I do.
Na.
Yeah. Yubin Zhang, Jinchiro Kozuma, and Danny Lee. So yeah, Kevin
Poor
Na's
guys.
back
Poor guys.
probably hurts.
Yeah, dude, Kevin Na. He's a good player. He's definitely carrying that team.
They're off for a month. They play next in Washington D.C. June 6th through 8th.
Yeah, they got a nice break. A very nice break.
Yep.
We can look at winning comparisons since we had a PGA event and a LIV event. It's very interesting this week because it was not a signature event on the PGA Tour. Scottie Scheffler got $1.8 million for winning. Bryson DeChambeau got $4 million for winning.
Big payday.
Big payday. Eric Van Rooyen in second got $1.1 million. Charles Howell III got $2.25 million. And then last place on LIV got $50K. Last place on the PGA got $20,295.
I don't know why it just hit me, but the money that these guys are making on LIV if you're winning is unbelievable.
Yeah, because it's every week it's the same.
Week,
you get $4 million.
Think about how much money Joaquin Niemann has made himself this year.
Dude, at least $12K. Or sorry, $120K.
Yes, at least. No, he's won.
Oh wait, no,
$12 million.
That's
he's
also
won
what
3
I meant.
events.
That's also what I meant.
Numbers are hard.
It's okay. I meant the M, not the K.
Numbers are hard. It's okay. We'll give you a pass. But he's made a ton of money, and then he goes. You're still winning a lot of money for placing high in, standings, and he hasn't actually done that outside of he's had tied for 12th and then 33rd and 20th and 33rd again. So, but he has made himself cash.
Yeah.
Good for
Paydays.
him. Yeah.
I mean, that's why they joined, right? It was for the payday.
It is. Yeah, it sure is.
So
That's how it goes.
that's how it goes. We're going to move on to Gimmies, our quick news hit section. And we're starting out with a football player. Jason Kelsey posted some videos of his golf swing on Reddit and asked for some tips. Actually, not bad.
It wasn't.
His move
it
is
looks
solid.
like a football player's.
Right.
He's an athlete, so he's
He
going to
is.
have some power. That's a big fellow right there.
Yeah. He and Travis have good swings.
Yeah. Travis is a well-established, decent golfer.
Right. It's fun.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
I was kind of impressed. Yeah.
Me too. It came out that Siwoo Kim is one of the funniest players on the PGA Tour. He chipped in on the last hole on Thursday and fell to the ground in a very funny way. And Scottie Scheffler had this to say after the round.
He does stuff like that all the time. People don't realize it, but he's probably one of the funniest guys we have on tour, and just a little really good comedic timing. And I mean, he's the best. Siwoo's undefeated, so that was not surprising. He's really good at golf, but the reaction always gets a good laugh out of us.
I love it.
Siwoo is undefeated.
I love Siwoo Kim.
That's funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
2 days later, Siwoo had a long eagle putt on the 18th to get to 11 under. He was playing with Jordan Spieth, whom he had played with for all of the first 3 rounds. Jordan told Siwoo, all right, you can't make the eagle putt so that we can play together tomorrow. Siwoo did in fact miss, and then he made his birdie. Jordan stepped up and drilled a 25-foot eagle putt to match him at 11 under, and the two played together on Sunday. The funny part is Siwoo walked up and gave him a big old chest bump, and he kicked his left leg in the air. It was so funny. It's a very funny video. You can find it on the PGA's Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
We had some interesting but just an interesting moment.
Some honesty.
Yes. Davis Riley called a 2-stroke penalty on himself on Friday, and it moved him outside of the projected cut line. On the 17th hole, Riley self-reported a penalty for using the slope feature on his rangefinder.
I mean, here's the deal with this, right? One, good on him for doing that, because that's something that only you're seeing.
Yeah.
So props to him. But aren't there rangefinders that don't even have a slope function?
I think so. They're not as nice is the thing.
Okay.
I don't know if they're as accurate as the ones that do have it.
So I wonder if these guys, if the PGA moves forward with their plan to allow these, I got to imagine like companies like Bushnell and Bushnell, because, not a lot of other companies are well known for making rangefinders. So I wonder if Bushnell will make one like for tour pros and for competitive players that only has the distance function.
They
So
very
that
well
can't
could.
happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of players also have one that has the slope function because they like in
And
practice.
it's easy to switch
using-
on as well.
It
It's
is.
a switch.
It is a switch. But it's nice to have it in practice so your eye can get used to, okay, that's what 8 yards up
good
looks
point.
like. That's what 10
Right.
yards down
Yeah.
looks like.
I think they should all have the magnetic speaker that all the dads have, and they just play music, and it's the rangefinder one. Yeah,
That would be
my
hilarious.
dad has one of those. It's pretty electric.
Well, the awesome thing about Davis Riley is he went on to birdie the 18th hole, and he made the cut. He finished tied for 45th and walked home with just over $31,000. So honesty is, in fact, the best policy.
That's
Andrew.
right. Yeah. Good. Hey, good for him.
Exactly.
At least he made the cut. I feel like if he had made the cut and not reported it, I feel like he just would have felt terrible about it.
Yeah.
Like you got to do that as a professional golfer. So he did the right thing, and he was rewarded for it.
He was. Well, apparently a plane crashed
This was crazy. Yeah.
at Riviera Country Club last Friday, Riviera Country Club in Los Angeles. It was a small plane. Looked like it only sat maybe 2 to 4 people. Luckily, nobody was hurt, but it came in low, and it just kind of bounced off the grass and then laid to rest. It didn't look like the course was damaged all that much, which was also good news. But man, that is
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's one of those that, just a lot of personal air traffic around that area.
yeah, there is.
You would probably know better than I would, just being out
It's true.
from California. But yikes, it's very lucky that people were not hurt. The
Yeah.
course comes second in that sort of thing.
Yes, agreed.
Great course, though.
Very nice. Oh, I love that course.
Have you played it?
I've not played it, but
You've been there?
I've been there.
Okay.
Yeah. I went
go.
for the Genesis
Okay,
a couple
cool.
times,
Cool.
which was very fun.
Yeah.
Before the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, Golf Digest released the 3 lowest scoring averages on the tour this season. Leading is Rory McIlroy, 69.1 scoring average. And second was Scottie Scheffler, 69.4 scoring average, but that is going to drop after rounds of 61, 63, 66, 63. He might have overtaken Rory for the scoring average leader. And then third was Bud Cauley.
What?
With a 70 flat scoring average.
That's still true. Scottie is now number 1.
Okay.
I just looked it up. The tour average is 71.457.
Wow.
Scottie is at 69.019. Rory's at 69.163. Bud Cauley is at 70.014. However, take that with a grain of salt because he has only he's played a decent amount. He's played 9 events this year.
That's as much as Scottie's played.
Then there you go.
Yeah. Good for Bud Cauley, dude.
Okay, he did have a really good stretch from the Players to the Valero Texas Open. Tied for 6th, tied for 4th, tied for 5th.
Dang. Playa.
His highest round in that stretch of 3 tournaments was a 72.
Yeah, playa.
Yeah, playa.
That's
Show
awesome.
me the money.
Good for him.
That's
I didn't know
fun.
that he was strapped like that.
I'll let you have a guess on who leads the tour in birdie average. The tour average is 3.84.
I mean, Rory,
Nope.
Scottie,
Nope. It's one of our favorites here on the show.
Jordan,
Nope.
Max,
Nope. Think smaller. He's a recurring character.
not Kevin Kisner.
Nope.
Dude, this is going to bother me. Okay, don't say a word. One of our favorites? Dude. Okay, give me a hint.
I can't. It'll give it away.
You
You just want me to tell you?
Oh my God, is it Sepp Straka?
It's Sepp Straka.
It's Sepp Straka, dude?
Yes. I know, right?
I love that
Yeah.
guy.
He's birdie average 4.84 around. Justin Thomas is in second with 4.80.
Holy cow.
So Sepp Straka is making the most birdies on tour this year.
I love it.
It's awesome.
That's
isn't it?
electric.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he's making
He's also second in greens and regulation percentage.
dude, he's a player.
He's a player.
Let's go, Seth. It's about time
And
he wins.
shots gained on approach, he's second.
Oh my gosh.
He's
Absolute
playing well, man.
stud.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him play this weekend. Stay tuned for Made or Missed, our favorite segment.
He might be there.
He might be there.
Oh, yeah.
We'll move on. Rory McIlroy went on Jimmy Fallon during his New York City Green Jacket Tour, and there were some awesome moments. Jimmy and Rory played a game where they chipped golf balls into washing machines like Rory used to do when he was a kid.
My favorite part about that is that I'm sure you've seen the video.
Yeah.
A very old, like, British or Irish talk show.
Yeah.
Like what Jimmy Fallon is.
Right.
He did that. He went on the show, I think, when he was like 8 or 9.
Yeah, 8.
He was 8.
Yeah.
And
It
now
was
he's
so
doing it with
cool.
a green jacket.
I know.
So cool.
It's very,
They
very cool.
They tried, credit to the NBC crew, they set it up pretty much the same way. The
I
camera
know.
shot looked exactly the same. I even think the washing machine was relatively similar.
It was very similar.
Yeah.
And it was a competition. It was Rory versus Jimmy, and Jimmy didn't stand a chance. I love
can't
Jimmy
imagine.
Fallon,
I love
but
him. He's good. Yeah.
it was funny.
Yep.
The other great moment that came from it is Rory said that Tiger Woods texted him, quote, "Welcome to the club, kid," after he won the Masters. What an electric text to get.
Yeah, I would.
I'd cry.
Well, neither of us have Tiger Woods' phone number. So,
I know.
You know.
Hey, Tiger, if you're listening, give us a call here at the Cut Line. We'd love to have you on the show.
Yeah, it would be a great guest. That one might do numbers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that would blow up.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Bob Does Sports.
It's never happening. Get it out of your head. It's just not happening.
Never. It's my dream. Bob Does Sports and Barstool Sports announced a new creator tournament called the Internet Invitational.
This is gonna be so stupid.
Here's what
I'm gonna love it.
Here's what
man.
Bob of Bob Does Sports had to say about the tournament coming up.
Guys, there you have it. Internet Invitational. Dave just announced it on his page. we could not be more fired up for this. Coming this summer, August, Big Cedar Lodge. We wanted to have a tournament where you have the good of YouTube golf and the bad of YouTube golf, unfortunately. And the bad part, looking at a guy like myself. We want all handicaps in the tournament playing for $1 million. Dave said possibly even beyond $1 million. We'll see about that as well. At Big Cedar Lodge, we're going to do it right. We've been talking about it for quite some time.
Wow is right.
That's going to get a lot of views, because you just think about how many people are already tuning in to all these different channels to combine them all under one, and then under the Barstool brand, which is, I think, bigger than a lot of people give it credit for.
Yeah, it is.
Whether you like it or not, it's pretty polarizing. But just to see, all these guys, it's going to be 50 or 60 guys. Grant Horvat will probably play. Garrett Clark will probably play.
Yep.
I mean, who knows? The list is, we'll see Fat Perez play.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody that you can think of in the space of YouTube golf and social media golf will probably be at this. I mean, I'll tune into it.
Yes.
It'll be interesting.
Well, speaking of, I saw this morning on the PGA's Instagram. This is very cool. I didn't put it down in our rundown.
Are they going to let Wesley Bryan play in this?
No. There's something new. I know. I haven't heard anything about that. There's a qualifier coming up at Myrtle Beach. 16 golfers, 8 professionals, 8 content creators, all jousting for one spot in an upcoming PGA Tour event.
Oh, cool.
The winner will be announced today. I guess they're playing today as we're filming, Monday the 5th at 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Looks like Fat Perez is playing. It looks like George Bryan of the Bryan Bros is playing.
Wow.
But not Wesley. Kyle Berkshire is playing, former long drive champion.
Do you know what it's called?
I do not. It's just under Play Golf Myrtle Beach, and then the PGA's Instagram is tagged in it as well.
Here we go. Let's see. Yeah. The One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. See scores. Ben Woodruff. Okay, I don't know who any of these people are, so.
It's a very cool,
we'll have to look
mix
at,
of,
I'm sure we'll see it on social media.
Yeah, it looks like Micah Morris as well.
Oh, wow.
Is in this, so very cool. I think of the influencers that are there, I'd put my money on George Bryan.
Oh, for sure.
Because he's the closest to the pros.
Yeah, yeah.
But there could be a youngster that we don't know of, a college kid that comes out and makes it.
Pretty sweet.
So that'll be very, very cool.
Yeah, I don't think I found the right link, but oh well.
Yeah, oh well. We'll get it for next week. Joe Greiner, Max Homa's former caddy, is making yet another change. He filled in for Justin Thomas's caddy during the Masters in RBC Heritage, a pretty good stretch to caddy for Justin Thomas.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now he's got a full-time gig with Colin Morikawa.
So are we picking Colin Morikawa to win this week then?
I probably won't.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's
not a bad pick, actually.
Yeah. I mean, just look at how successful guys are being with Greiner on the bag now. I don't know.
Yeah, hey.
He's just going around.
He's just going around. But
funny.
It seems like he's found a new home with the top 5 golfer in the world. He's had a good run of things as of late.
For sure.
Michael Block.
Oh, yes.
2023 PGA Championship legend continues to shine. He fired a final round 73, finished 4 under in the PGA Professional Championship to qualify for the 2025 PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. Andrew, are you a Block Party fan?
Yeah, I am. I like to see a story like that do well. And just how electric he was in 2023 was fun to follow. That ace was awesome.
Oh, so sick.
Was that at the PGA? That was
the final round on 16.
Yeah.
He was playing with Rory McIlroy.
Yes. Oh, yes.
It was so fun.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. But I mean, who knows how well he'll play? But he'll get eyes on him, and he's an easy guy to root for. Just PGA professional, and he's really darn good at golf. So he's
really
got a chance.
good.
Yep.
Our last gimme of the day, Golf Digest released the longest average driving distance on the PGA Tour this year.
This does not surprise me at all.
Aldrich Potgieter.
This guy mashes the ball.
Leads the way, 324.1 yards per drive.
He clobbers the ball.
Take a guess at who's second.
I actually just saw this. I know Rory's third.
Rory is third. Good job.
I was looking at the stat sheet, but I can't remember for the life of me who was.
It's a guy that I actually haven't heard of.
Okay. That doesn't bode well for me, does it?
No.
Who is it?
Nicholas Norgard.
Oh, it's that guy. Yeah, I don't know about his swing.
318.5 yards per drive.
It's big numbers, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not surprised to see Pot Guider at the top of that. He crushes the ball.
He does. Rory's in third. Kurt Kitayama is in sixth. Minwoo Lee's in seventh. Keith Mitchell is in 10th.
Sure.
He's always mashed it.
Yeah.
But cool to see that he's still getting it around the golf course. That's awesome.
Awesome.
Made or miss time.
It's time.
For
I
the
had a great
Truist.
week last week. Picked the
You
winner.
did.
Got 8 points. You were pretty awful last week. I'm not going to lie. This is your worst week by far.
Didn't have to say it like that.
Okay,
dude.
but
Gosh,
you know, I
hurt my
need some small
feelings,
wins here.
God.
Well, you'll get over it. Listen, 2 points last week for you. You picked Jordan Spieth. He played great. He solo fourth at 19 under. I had 8 points last week, and I picked Scottie
picked the
Scheffler.
winner.
So, yep, I had 5 right, and then the three for the winner.
Yep.
All right, first one, we've got Keegan Bradley to lead us off. Will he make or miss the cut? And is this a no-cut event?
Yes, I think
Okay.
so. So we'll make our own cut with, I think it's 72 players in the field, something around there.
Sounds right.
So we will make, if it is the case, we'll just keep an eye on it. I'll look at it on after Friday.
Yeah.
And find what the number is. Yeah, top 72.
So we'll do 36 in ties.
So we'll do 36 in ties.
Sweet.
Keegan Bradley, I'm going to say he makes it.
I am going to agree with you. I like the way he's playing. He's been good this year.
All right.
Next up,
Do you want to go next?
Thomas Detry. Let's have a look at Mr. Detry. He's won his first event this year. But you go through his results and you see a lot of cuts on there. However, I'm going to say he has some success this week, and I think he's going to make the cut.
Yeah, I like it. I also think that he's going to make it. Well, do I think he's going to make it?
Do you? I don't know.
No, I don't think he's going to make it.
Ooh, all
I
right.
think he's going to miss it. I also think that Nick Dunlap's going to miss it.
Yeah, I want him to make it. I want him to be top 36.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at least he's playing. He's a very young guy. He's got time to improve. But he has had a little bit of a struggle to get started here.
Tony Finau.
We said that at the same time. That was weird.
You.
I'm saying he makes it.
Yep.
Yep.
I will say the same thing.
I put him on there because I don't think we've had him on this segment.
No, we
thus far
haven't.
this year.
He's typically a cut line merchant. Like, he
Yeah,
just kind of
he
makes
hangs
everything,
around
but
there,
he's
right.
never in
In
contention.
Yeah, cut line
I like
merchant. That's good.
Lucas Glover.
Me
first, you
well,
first.
here we are. I'm just gonna look at Tony Finau's results. I'll have you go first.
All right, Lucas Glover. I'm going to say
Shout out
he
Josh
plays
Post.
pretty well. Yeah, shout out Josh Post. I think that Lucas Glover is going to make the cut. Andrew Hillsman.
You know me, I like to go off of past seasons, or this season's results. And let's see how Mr. Glover has done. He's 45.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
And he's been iffy this year.
He has.
He was tied for 3rd at the Players,
Yep.
tied for 8th at the Valspar, got cut at the Masters, tied for 61st at the RBC.
Oof.
I'm going to say he misses it this week.
All right. Minwoo Lee,
Make.
right back to you.
Make. Bang. I'm in.
You're letting him cook.
Let him
I'm,
cook.
I'm also
Absolutely.
saying he's
Yes.
going to make it.
It's time for Sepp Straka. Here
Sepp
we go.
Straka,
What do we say?
I'm saying make.
I agree, but he'll probably miss it now that we've said that.
Yeah, every
That's
time we
kinda
say he
been the- that's
misses
been
it,
the
he
thing.
makes it.
That's been the
and
thing.
almost wins. Andrew Novak, this is an interesting one.
This is a really good one because remember, he was really successful at, what was it, the Zurich?
Yeah, I won I believe
Zurich?
it's Zurich.
See, I got on you for getting that wrong.
You did.
We're even now, whatever.
We are.
Yeah, the Zurich, he won it, right?
Yeah,
With Ben
with
Griffin?
Ben Griffin.
Yeah, who also, I think, missed the cut last week.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And I look, let me find out. I'm just going to go off a gut feeling. I'm going to say he's got it this week.
He's got it.
Yep.
All right. I'd say don't got
You
it.
don't think so?
Don't got it.
I think he'll shock us, but the
All right.
field is very strong.
Exactly.
So we'll see.
Eric Van Rooyen is a very interesting one.
It is, and I had to put him in here after how well he played.
Yeah.
He got in on the Aon Swing 5.
Right.
But you look at his results and you look down the list of signature events. Was the Phoenix Open, wasn't it?
No.
Okay. The Players, though, missed the cut.
Yep.
CJ Cup, obviously, was good. Farmers Insurance, cut. Pebble Beach, tied for 40th. I don't think he's got it this week. I'm saying he's missing our faux cut line.
Yeah, folk outlines.
Yes.
I agree. 36 is not a lot of players, and you've got 9 of the top 10 players in the world at this tournament. I just don't know if there's room.
Yeah.
I mean, we could be wrong, but I also feel like the CJ Cup, Texas golf is a lot different. You can kind of hit it anywhere in the world.
You'll be safe,
and you'll be fine. Philly,
that's how
not
you
as much.
That's how you shoot 31 under.
Exactly. How about
All right,
this
shout
last
out
one?
Canadian. Nick Taylor. Are we
Hashtag
fading him?
Canadian.
Are we fading him?
Nick Taylor. No, he's going to make it.
You think so?
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. This is one I've gone back and forth on. I'm not going to lie. There's some, also, the other thing that I want to mention before I make my pick, there's some solid alternates in here. Patrick Rogers in here. Bud Cauley is an alternate for this tournament. Jake Knapp, Nico Echeverria.
Yeah.
Danny Walker's in. Harry Hall, who actually made the cut. That's how I got one of my points.
Oh, I love Harry Hall.
Yeah. So you go look at it, and Nick Taylor has had an odd year. You're saying make. I am going to say he misses.
All right.
I don't see the.
Things
He was
are
good at the
getting
Genesis,
dicey.
and he was good in Sony in Hawaii, but
Yeah,
I don't think he's got it. Just like you said, the field is so strong this week.
it is. It is.
So.
Speaking of the field, who do you have winning it, Andrew?
Man, screw it, Morikawa. Let's go.
Oh.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Colin Morikawa.
Why not? Right? I mean, why not?
Why not?
He's got to have it at some point.
Yeah, he's been close, but it's just kind of been like just off. Man, this is tough, dude, because you've left me Rory McIlroy,
I have.
which it's so hard not to take
Yeah.
him. But he's almost won too much. Like he's won too many things.
You know, that's what happened last year, right? Like with Scottie, everybody, you know, oh, he's not going to win again this week, and he goes and wins again. So,
dude, and he's won this tournament 4 times. I'm going
Rory
Rory
is the best
McIlroy.
odds at plus 400. Ludwig Oberg is plus 1600. Sneaky choice. I think the sneakiest choice this week. You're going to hate me for saying this, but I think the sneakiest choice is Sepp Straka.
Oh my god, dude! He can't.
I'm not gonna
He
pick
can't
him.
keep getting away with this.
He can't keep getting away with this. That's right. No, I'm not going to pick him, but hey, I think he'll do well.
Yeah, I like it. I am going with Rory.
Okay. All right.
Can't not. I mean,
No, you have to at this point.
I love him.
It's a good choice.
Oh, by the way, one of my buddies on the golf team,
Yeah.
he's got partial citizenship in Ireland.
Oh.
His dad lives in Ireland.
Okay.
And his dad, I was talking to his dad, and I told him that I called Rory missing the 5-footer to win.
Yeah.
And he just turned at me and was like, "It was you!" He was so
You
mad,
cursed
dude.
him.
I did,
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
He was so mad, but
Oh, my
he was
gosh.
like, "You're lucky he won in the playoff."
Oh, you would not have had any luck in your life ever again.
No,
after
dude,
that.
I would have had a country
You would-
coming after me. I mean,
That's
he
not
was
a
so
country you want to
mad.
have coming after you.
Exactly. But I thought that was
That's funny, man.
I love it.
That's good.
So yeah, that's gonna wrap up the episode.
Good
the
one.
Truist is gonna be fun. I didn't realize it was a signature event. I'm not gonna lie.
Big money up for grabs.
Yeah, big money, big players. 9 of the top 10, excluding Scottie Scheffler, the only non-top 10 player.
Yep.
It's gonna be fun.
Fireworks.
I'm excited to see Rory back in the lineup,
The mix,
in the
yep.
field. I'm excited to see Colin Morikawa. Excited to see Xander Schauffele. We haven't seen a lot from him.
And you know, we're all excited to watch Sepp Straka play golf.
Oh, of course, Sepp Straka.
Sign me up.
How can you not be excited to watch Sepp Straka?
That's right. Mr. Birdie Man leading the way.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. All right, well, that is going to do it
Yep.
for today's episode. As per usual, everyone, thank you so much for sticking with us. If you made it for the entire 50 minutes,
Yeah.
I'm Graham Nash,
I'm Andrew Hillsman.
and we will see you next week on The Cut Line.